Hello my convicts and convicts. Yes, it is I, the Captain Convict, bringing you guys and gals another vlog. So today is my vlog of Modern Warfare, what I thought about Modern Warfare and what I would like to see changed in Modern Warfare. So if you haven't seen already, the beta has been and now has gone. It stopped and we can now talk and reminisce in what we got to do in regards to the beta over the weekend and to what I actually thought and what my pros and cons are, and hopefully to get this out. Now, I will apologize first off because I will be adding some tags of bigger YouTubers here. Now, the main reason for it not is to gather clout or to steal subscribers or anything, but just generally just so we can try and get this information out to Infinity Ward and to Ashton, who seems to be the lead lady who is commenting on most of the comments and obviously giving feedback and changes and stuff. She seems to be the main one who's obviously helping support the community in terms of everything to do with Modern Warfare. So today I want to give my constructive feedback and kind of give them a point, hopefully in the right direction to what I want to do, which is the reason why, because I'm just a small YouTuber. I'm not a big YouTuber. Obviously, I know generally a lot of devs will only listen to those who have millions of subscribers, because obviously they've got a big voice, because they have a big audience, and that gives them obviously the ability to get their points across a bit easier than it would be for someone small such as myself. So like I said, apologies, but I wanted to do this just to see if we could actually get somewhere and hopefully get a response from Infinity Ward, possibly in regards to what I feel could be good and bad for Modern Warfare. So here we go, let's get it on, let's get to it, and let's talk about Modern Warfare. So first of all, let's talk about the pros. So aesthetically, it looks really pleasing. The guns look really good. The animations are really, really nice. The shots seemed pretty on point. The footsteps were loud enough, even though a little bit in terms of footsteps, but we'll get to that in a moment. The guns looked really, really nice as well. The maps were pretty nice as well. I've never really gone into many games, or every game that I've gone, I like every map, but I generally do like all the maps in the game. The night vision mode was pretty cool, and I enjoyed playing that as well. I enjoyed more or less everything. I think the only really game mode I didn't really play too much was Headquarters and the 2v2 mode. Not because I didn't particularly like them or they were bad, just I'm not that much of a big keen player on that kind of thing. I don't play a lot of domination either. I'm more of a TDM player, and I think most of our community is TDM as well. So I just didn't enjoy playing like an objective game modes for certain aspects that sometimes you get terrible teammates, and unfortunately trying to cap everything and survive and kill and all that is just horrendous at times. You know how I feel about Apex Legends in terms of that, but it's just the way it is. That's why I'm more of a TDM, because I know I can just rely on just shooting and not hopefully too much else, and just try and do the best I can for the team I've got. So yeah, it's just the way it is. In regards to the settings were really cool as well. I'm glad that they added in the extra ability to add in the extra features in terms of the different ADS sensitivities. So now when you ADS, you can have this different sensitivities from the alpha that they brought out, because the alpha, obviously the 2v2, you weren't able to do that. You could only physically have just the sensitivity for up, down, left and right. That was it. One thing I would like them to add, if they could possibly, is go the same route as Apex Legends and add in the ability to have X and Y, and then the extra Y and extra pitch. So extra yaw and extra pitch. So yaw and pitch, but then extra yaw, extra pitch. Having the aim acceleration, or the acceleration of the game, so you can turn it off. The ramp up time and delay time that they also add to the acceleration, options to turn them off as well. I don't generally like acceleration, never have done in many games, and if you watch my videos on Apex Legends, you'll notice I turn it off. It just makes more mess. It messes with muscle memory, it messes with you trying to find out how much you have to turn in degrees in order to kill people and stuff, and it's annoying. even for my Nikon Pro controller that I have, because I have Nikon version 1, I always put down the radius to 0 in order to combat anything in terms of acceleration or anything like that. And like I said, in Apex, I've turned it completely off. So my first piece of criticism is I would like them to add in advanced look controls into Modern Warfare. I know they've added for sensitivity X and Y and then the ADS X and Y, but I would really like it for them to add in, like Apex Legends, so they could go check out Apex Legends settings and have a look at the advanced look controls. If you just put a Kappa Convict in there, you'll find mine and you'll see what I do. I always turn off my extra yaw. I always use extra yaw and extra pitch because that's just fine control, but I usually turn off such as the ramping up, ramping down, or delays or anything like that, anything that will cause a delay or problems within the game itself. So if they could do that, that'd be great. That'd be my first critique, is just add in more options for controls so that I can completely configure everything I want from my yaw, pitch, extra pitch, and then acceleration as well. So that'd be really cool if we could do that. That'd be awesome. So, minimap. Obviously this got added in, but yes, I really do agree that a minimap should be in the game. It just didn't make sense, and many times you're spinning around to try and see blue silhouettes of people with their names above. It was really awkward and annoying at times. They did eventually add in the minimap, which I'm glad and grateful for, because there was issues where I was in a room, I'd be facing, it'd be a 1v1, me versus an enemy. There'd be some steps which lead you around the back of the building that could come in, but what would happen is the blue silhouette and the enemy would blend into one, and I couldn't tell who was different, the difference between the friendly and an enemy, because the friendly was almost masking the enemy's outline so he could crouch or go prone, and I wouldn't see it, and then he would kill me. I was like, okay. That happened a few times. Also, the blue name of my teammate sometimes would appear through walls, and an enemy would be somehow perfectly standing where the blue name tag was, and then he would kill me because I thought it was a friendly and not an enemy. So that was pretty crazy. The only critique I would say for that is that obviously they've taken the names off, so it's just blue dots now, and the silhouette. Maybe make the silhouettes just a little bit fainter, a little bit more transparent, so they're not too bright that they do blend in with other characters. So make them, or give us an option to change the transparency of the blue outline so we can have it as bright or as dull as we want it to be in the game to regards to seeing teammates through walls. That'd be awesome. That'd be really cool. Also, I would like them, so if they could change the footsteps a little bit, not our footsteps or the general footsteps of the game, but the footsteps of your teammates. That's been one big problem where we seem to have the same sound footsteps to what the enemies do. And the problem with this is you hear someone and you don't know if it's a friendly or not. And before, obviously, we had the minimap in, you was having to spin around to every little noise you heard just to make sure it wasn't an enemy. And because you've got teammates spawning on you, sometimes it was really annoying because you'd have someone spawn and you'd spin around like a crazy mad fool to face your teammate, and then the enemy would come from the other side and shoot you in the back because you'd be like, why is he not even facing me? I'm running in and he's just turned the opposite way. Yeah, because they're teammates. That was the biggest gripe on there. So one thing I'd like them to do with footsteps is to change our footstep sound to the enemy footstep sound, and that way then we can distinguish who is an ally and who is an enemy in terms of that. But the sound quality of the audio of the footsteps is in a great place, so don't change that in terms of what we hear generally. It's just our teammates that we need to focus on and their footstep sound, not generally any other footsteps. I think in general the footsteps were pretty good, even though it does need tweaking a little bit. Dr. Disrespect was talking a bit about it, especially in his ranty video of him breaking his scuff. Unfortunately, RIP Scuff. Apparently in the video, I've not watched the whole thing, so I don't know if he actually does break his scuff in that. But yeah, the audio sound needs to be addressed a little bit from behind. It's the same issue that we generally get with a lot of games in Apex and whatever, PUBG. You can't hear people coming up from behind as easy, and it makes really annoying that someone can rush up to you from behind and then shoot you in the back, and you had no idea they were even there. So that just needs to be looked into. So obviously these fixes will be done by the time of the launch of the game. I don't know if they'll be done for the actual second week of the beta, but for the launch, I definitely feel like they'll get on top of this, as you know, they've done a good job so far. I'm definitely sure that they'll listen to community and continue on. So thank you very much, Infinity Ward. We salute you. The only other thing I would say I would like to see changed as well is a little bit in regards to the hipfire with ARs. ARs don't hipfire very well at all. A lot of times I was using many of them, and even with laser sight and even the double laser sight, and finding it very difficult to hipfire and kill people because they just didn't work very well when it came into the hipfire department. And if you watch me on Apex, I love to not only shoot, but I've got pretty accurate hipfire as well. And I just felt most circumstances of running into people, I couldn't hipfire them at all. But yet SMGs and LMGs, yes, the LMGs were absolutely insane for hipfire. I think the LMGs were the most craziest hipfire weapons, which is kind of weird that people, especially big YouTubers, didn't mention about the LMGs, because the LMGs are absolutely beast. I use not the top LMG, but the LS82 or whatever it's called. It's the second one down in the list, and it was an absolute monster. Even though you move really slow with it when you're ADSing, and it is pretty dang slow, you move like a snail, it was really, really, strong for outbeating people. The recoil and flinch was absolutely insanely low on it, and not only that, it hip-fired like a monster as well, and it was a pretty tank weapon. So if you get to see it in the second week of the beta, definitely use the LMG. It's not the first top one, but the second one below it. The LS, whatever it's called, LS82 or LSA2, whatever it's called. Definitely check it out. It's an absolute beast of a weapon. Not many people have talked about it or discovered it. So there you go. Top tip for Kappa in regards to LMGs, and it hip fires really well. If you love hip firing, you definitely want to be trying out that weapon. So the other critiques in regards to that is the ranges as well. The ranges on the weapons were really odd. The SMGs had extremely long range, which is kind of odd. The MP4 especially, and the MP5 I think was the only one that didn't really have a great deal. I think that was in a good place for where that was as an SMG. But the other weapons, such as the MP4 or MP7, whatever you call it, it was insane. It was literally a laser beam from most ranges, and it was really, really powerful weapon. A lot of people were using that particular weapon and just lasering people from miles away. I was getting outbeat by it quite often because it was just so dang fast that it shoots, and because of the fact that it has little to no recoil, it's like a laser beam at most points. You could just literally laser and kill people, which was kind of odd. It's one of the first weapons I was using quite often, and then I went on to a few of the ARs, which I enjoyed, but like I said, due to the issues of the ranges and that, there should be some form of difference between an AR, an SMG, and an LMG. And I just feel like the SMGs were still pretty dominant in this Call of Duty over the ARs and LMGs, possibly, because I didn't really see anyone use LMGs that often, which is kind of weird. Everyone was like ARs, SMGs, or trying out the shotguns and seeing how well they could do with them in terms of getting around the map. So yeah, that's the only critique I have, is reduce the ranges just a fraction, Don't do it a lot, just a fraction for the SMGs, just to bring them back just a little bit. The MP5, if you want to go off, is at a good state. Don't touch the MP5, just leave it as it is. That was in a good position, but I just think that it should dial the other SMGs to be similar to the MP5 in terms of the range and the way that they shoot, because I just felt that, especially I think it's the MP7, it's just like a laser beam. It's just insane how accurate and how easy it was to beat most people, even ARs at a distance, with an SMG. Just a bit bizarre, to be honest, in my book, but there we have it. The only other thing I want to talk about as well is connectivity. The connections were really, really bizarre in the game, and they really need to be looking into this in terms of Super Bullet. Now, Exclusive Ace, who I'll tag as well in this, he had the same issue as what I had, where you have certain people who had Super Bullet, or it seemed like it. Sometimes I was even getting around a corner and it's like they had auto aim, because literally you get around the corner and you'd instantly be dead. And I don't know how they were doing that for some people, but some people were just insta-locking onto you and killing you straight away. And they weren't even like dragging to, you know, while you say I'm the enemy, you kind of start here, then you quickly snap and then you kill, or anything like that. They were instantly big, straight there, and insta-dead, which was really, really bizarre. Now that probably will be down to the connections and what they see and what I see on their screen. So they're seeing me possibly 5 milliseconds, 10 milliseconds before I saw them. So at the point they see me, they're then transitioning to ADS to then snap to target to then take the shot. Then I'm seeing them and then I'm trying to react after that, but yet they've already started firing. And yeah, on my screen, I don't see them shoot. I'm shooting them first, or I feel I'm shooting them first, and then they insta-kill me, and I'm like, how did I just die? I had this quite often, and it was quite annoying. So the connections definitely need to be looked at and addressed, because they were pretty varied at times. A lot of games were really good, a lot of games were really bad. And the only way you could sort of tell what the ping was when you were searching at the top, up at the top here, was telling you what the milliseconds of the game is trying to connect you to, which it said 25 milliseconds for LAN. And I was like, okay, because my connection here, if you didn't know, is FTTC. So it's copper from the house to the cabinet, but fiber from the cabinet to obviously the exchange here in the UK. And I've got a download speed of 35 and an upload speed of around about 5. It's just varies just slightly under 5 for upload speed. I have a Business Hub as well, a BT Business Hub. I'm on a BT Business line, and I have NetDuma R1 as well. So all these features I could use, obviously, to maximize my geofilter. And I did shrink the geofilter just to the UK, so it was only people in the UK, unless they had the requirements for the ping assist of 25, because I put my ping assist to 25, seeing as the games were searching for games at 25. I was like, well, I'll just put 25, and then if it finds games at 25, then that's fine. I shouldn't have any problems, because a ping around 20, 25, up to 30 even, you should have okay games. It shouldn't be that bad. I think it's generally when you get to 40s and 50s, that's where you get the extreme lagging problems, and that's where the big issues come from in terms of hit detection and not seeing each other and things like that. So I really feel that I need to address the connections a little bit. One thing I found really weird, which I did ask Exclusive Ace to look into before the end of the beta, but I don't think he ever saw it, was the Wi-Fi and LAN issue I was having. When I was playing on LAN, like I said, it was searching up at the top here saying ping of 25, but then when I was doing it through Wi-Fi, it said ping of 0. So I don't know what happened there, but even with LAN, I think I got it once where it was saying ping of 0. I'm like, how can it be a ping of 0? So when I went into games, I was checking through NetDuma through my mobile phone, as my PC, unfortunately, rest in peace, died a bit ago, and I've not been able to use it. It was saying I was still on a solid ping of 20. Now, I do want to salute and thank Infinity Ward, obviously, for the really, really consistent connection that it seemed to have. When I was checking out on NetDuma, I was constantly getting a ping of 20, 21 and not any lower, and it wasn't going up and down, fluctuating at all. It was steady as a nail, you know, it was nailed straight on the head. It was like a rock that couldn't be pushed. Milnor, or whatever you call it, Thor's hammer that couldn't be picked up. However you say it, I always get it wrong. I always say that name wrong. I probably screwed up there, made a dog's dinner out of that, but you have to forgive me for that, okay? But yeah, it seemed to be so steady, but yeah, going into games was just completely up and down all the time. And some games I was going in, I was doing really well. I got VTOLs and got the Chopper Gunner easy. And in other games, I just literally couldn't do anything. I'd go up to someone, I'd aim to shoot, I'd insta-die. I'd go up to someone, I'd shoot 3 or 4 times, they'd insta-kill me. I'd shoot someone, they'd run around a corner, I'm instantly around the corner with them. I'd jump, hip fire them, they turn around, shoot me, I'd insta die. I'm like, it just doesn't make sense. There's so many variations of what happened where I was like, it's so odd. And this is what made me put my sensitivity up and down. I even put it down to a point that was around about 72 for my ADS speed, which is not fast in any means, but it gave me the ability to be super accurate. And even then, I was struggling still to kill people because of the same issue of this super bullet, or I'd step out from around a corner and insta die to someone. And I'm like, well, it's so weird because obviously you'd have to aim in because he doesn't know where I am. He didn't know where it was, and it could be anywhere on the map. But yet he was instantly on the area that I came out of and killed me. And it just doesn't make sense how they were managing to sort of do it. It was almost like they had auto lock, and then as soon as I came out, this went and it zoomed straight to me. It just doesn't make sense. But that could have been, like I said, connection issues of they could see something that I wasn't seeing beforehand. And it wasn't UAVs, because most times that we're doing, I would only comment on it if it wasn't a UAV. And I did run Ghost, and even with Ghost, I had the same issue of people instantly knowing where I was, or it seemed like that. And like I said, with the insta-bullet, well, I would shoot them, but they could kill me quicker somehow. Even though I landed the first 2 or 3 shots, they would instantly kill me afterwards. Just, yeah, very strange. So sorry, that is a little bit long-winded on that one, but that one is the most important, because connection obviously is the main thing about the game. If they can't get the connections right, then there's no point me buying the game, because I literally won't be able to play it. It was almost to the point of unplayable for me for most time when that was happening. I just couldn't play it. I just went off and played other games at that point, came back and took a long break, and then tried to grin and bear get into a good game with good connections during the game. But as far as I could see from NetDuma point of view, it seemed pretty good. So unless it was server side, I don't know. Who knows? But yeah, there were the general feelings of the game, the beta. The main gripe was obviously the connection. If they can fix the connections, then that will be really, really good for the second week, because I'd really like them to jump on that one and make sure that that is good. Like I said, again, I'm on an FTTC connection of 30 down and 5 up, around those speeds. And yeah, I think generally 20 ping should be a decent ping to be able to play any game on. And like I said, it was a consistent 2021 ping, always monitoring my NetDuma, because I could do that. GeoFilter was only set to UK 25 millisecond ping assist, so I should not really have had that many problems in games that I did face during there. The other thing I would like to critique a little bit is the ADS speed. I would really like them to reduce the ADS speed by a fraction, because I just felt like it was a little bit too slow. Even when I wasn't sprinting, just walking, I felt like ADSing was really, really slow to what I feel it should be. There is a balance between realism and gameplay, and I hope that they prioritize gameplay over realism, because you know, Call of Duty has always been an arcade shooter. It's never been one for being a realistic shooter, such as like Rainbow Six Siege or Battlefield. So I want them to try and keep to the law of Call of Duty, and that is obviously that it is a arcade shooter, and it should remain as that. And as long as they're obviously bringing in fresh new content like they have done, new aesthetics, new playstyles, new mechanics and all that, I'm all up for that. But they need to try and keep the speed and the pace of the game the same it's always been in Call of Duty, and it's always been more of like a rushing kind of game. And I just feel that if we go too far away from that, then we're going to start to have problems. So if they could address the ADS speed and make it a little bit quicker, that would be much appreciated from me, and probably from many other people who struggled a little bit with that. Obviously, if you're doing the running where you're holding your gun up here, then that's your own fault, because that's super sprinting. But I just felt that even just a normal jog, or just the walking stance, on them standpoints, the ADS was still too slow in terms of trying to ADS and then shoot someone else. It just didn't seem to work for me quite as well as what I would have wanted it to. So if they could address that, that might help, and also us to outbeat those issues that I was having where someone was seeing me first, because if I can ADS as quick as possible, there's more chance I could outbeat them if they miss their shot than it would be if I'm slower ADSing and feel like I'm getting caught all the time by super sprinting, even though I'm not, I'm just walking, because that's how it felt, I guess, in some ways, that I was super sprinting even though I wasn't. I was just walking, and then when it came to ADS, I just simply couldn't get to them in time to get a shot or anything, because they were seeing me 5 milliseconds before I could even see them. So that could be addressed. That would be great. That would make the game a lot better. Excuse me, I'm hiccuping. You probably saw the wobble there. But in all, I think the game's in a good position. I don't want them to change too much. The minimap is in a good position. Leave that as it is now without the red dots, because it doesn't need to have the red dots in the minimap, and just leave them in the compass, because I think that's a good place for it to be in terms of that. I wouldn't mind if they kept in the blue silhouettes as well, because I felt that was a good addition as well, to see where teammates were and where they were going, and if someone died, kind of give you an extra clue to where enemies were or where they possibly might be, and give you a chance of getting ready for the next fight and all that. So I think that's just more or less about it. That's, I think, all that I needed to talk about today. The game's really good. I've enjoyed it. Apart from obviously the constantly dying and the really hard games and people somehow being able to shoot me instantly and I can't see people before. So the connection for me was a really big deal. But if they can get on top of that, I really do feel that this could be the year of Call of Duty, because this game is pretty decent. I enjoyed the night vision mode. I enjoyed somewhat the headquarters. I'm not really much into like domination headquarters and things like that. If you've followed me for a long time, you know I'm more of a TDM player most of the time. But the idea that there was other game modes, and the night vision mode was pretty cool and awesome. I really did like that difference between normal standard Call of Duty and obviously a new style of playing Call of Duty as well. That was really cool, and I really like that. So the night vision mode, I'm probably going to look forward to playing more in the second week. I didn't play it as much this time around because I was just trying to get a feel and level up the guns as quickly as possible, so that obviously I can get to use as many of those attachments as possible as well. So there we have it. Hopefully enjoyed. Again, I do apologize to any YouTuber's name I do add in the tags, but I wanted to try and get this out to Ashton and team at Infinity Ward so that they could see this and hopefully improve on their game, because there are so many cool features of the game. I just don't want it to be spoiled by number one being the connection, the ADS speed, and obviously the ranges of the weapons being too much that the faster firing guns can outbeat the slower firing guns, because I've always wanted to try and keep it where the ARs are a decent speed so that the SMGs can only just outbeat an AR, and AR can only just outbeat an SMG. There should be a fraction of a difference between each and every weapon, I feel myself. Just having different weapons, different sounds, different animations to them was really cool. But I think in terms of the speed and time to kill, every gun should be exactly the same speed in time to kill. So if the SMGs fire super fast, they should do lesser damage so they reach max death at the same time it would do for a powerful AR to shoot you and kill you in 4 or 5 shots. Then the SMG should, even if it's a super fast firing gun like a Vesper, it should only be able to just outbeat that AR by you missing a bullet or so, and that should be the way it is. There should be very little difference between time to kill from one gun to the other, because I think that would make the game a little bit more better and just have different ranges. So obviously if you get caught with an SMG by an AR who's far away, then obviously you have to look at closing that gap to get that kill in. Anyway, I'm going to leave it here because I've rambled on too much already and it is coming up to 30 minutes, but hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to hit the like. Subscribe if you are new and you enjoy the content and you like all things to do with the Narcon Revolution Pro Controller. I play multiple games every day of the week, Monday to Friday, as I do have children and I spend that time on a weekend with them. So you know who it is. It is I, the Kappa Convict, signing out, and as always and forever, my convicts and convicts, for the ladies and gentlemen, I salute you. And yes, I will see you soon in some more gameplay. So I'm going to go off now and play a game for you guys and gals so you can enjoy as well as this vlog. Bye for now.